Boogie. We're alive! Or we're live. Here's a story that must be told about two ladies that are kind of old. One's a pastor, the other's not. They like to chat, cook, and pray a lot. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, pray. There's lots of laughter and lots of fun. TV's on Facebook Live at 1. You'll never know what will happen when Lucy and Ethel are at it again. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, pray. Chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, pray. Amen. Oh, we're here.
Oh, who brought us here today?
I don't know. Oh, I know. Our cooking show is sponsored by Bethel United Church of Christ, where no matter where you are on life's journey, you are always welcomed here. So I hope that you will send out an invitation also to join us at 10 o'clock this Easter Sunday morning. Let people know about Bethel, and you can join us as we will be streaming live our service out in the parking lot. If you're close enough and can come to the parking lot, bring chairs. We ask that if you get outside the car, you go ahead and mask and distance from other people that might not be in your core group. But it's going to be so great to be together. It's going to be 78 degrees.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be beautiful. I don't want, but I don't
I'm
want to.
I'm not going to say
I'm not
anything
gonna
like
say
I've
anything.
done in the past because
I
I
know.
know it's happened every time when I've said it and you go,
And yeah, then it snows or something like that.
Yeah, rains.
But this is going to be beautiful and a chance for us to just all get together. Bethel will be holding outdoor services from here on out through the summer until the decisions are made about when we come back in person. So just drop by out in our parking lot. It'll just be great. So today we have another fish dish. We had salmon patties last week. This time we've got the actual salmon that's going to be baked. So I'm going to turn it over to Marty. I'm going to be reading to you a little bit about how the fish and Christianity kind of came together. So here she goes.
Okay. I'm putting the potatoes in. I should have started those a little bit sooner, but we'll be fine because Pastor Karen has some really exciting stuff to talk about today.
Yeah.
And anyway, this is such an easy dish because you're just going to make it in the pan. It's one dish cleanup. That's fantastic. And I just chopped up some, sliced up some little Yukon Gold potatoes and put salt and pepper on them, and they're in the oven, and hopefully they're going to get done in time.
Yes, and you put a little olive oil on them too.
Yes, I put some olive oil on there.
Yeah.
And now we're going to take, I melted the 2 tablespoons of butter, and now we're going to add in all of our spices with a half a teaspoon of salt. We'll use this.
Mm-hmm.
And
I see you got your little
favorite thing-
spices all racked up there.
Oh yes, there's the half a teaspoon of salt going in.
Okay. Is this called Cajun butter?
Yes, this is a Cajun butter. and
But it's
it
not
is-
real hot?
Not really.
Okay.
You know how you like hot stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about.
And a half a teaspoon of firmly packed brown sugar.
There you go.
There's that. I tried this. I'm having this tonight at home also for dinner. So,
Okay.
and Randy loved it. So now I'm going to use paprika. And with that, we use a half a teaspoon also. And, oh your favorite, cayenne pepper. Your very favorite. You've learned that you.
I've gotten a little. I don't mind a little of it.
I'm not going to put in quite as much just because it's you I'm cooking
Okay.
for.
Thank you.
That's good enough. And then I add in garlic powder.
Yeah.
Lots of garlic powder. 1/4 of a teaspoon, half the amount of the other.
And tell me, where did you get your salmon?
I got my salmon at Costco
Okay.
on sale. Of
All
course.
right.
That's why we're having salmon.
Of course.
And I went back trying to find some more on sale last night, but it was gone. They were back to the regular price, and I'm being cheap, so. Okay, and now I'm going to, and I couldn't find my oregano, but this is Pensie's frozen pizza seasoning, which has oregano in it.
Oh, okay.
It'll work just fine.
It'll work fine.
Yeah, so I'm going to add in, it says 1/8 of a teaspoon of this one. So there's 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to add in, I needed the pepper. Oops, wrong container of pepper. This is the pepper. And I'm going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of the pepper. I love these little long handled.
Yes, those are nice.
Yes, I got those online. I have a set.
I always
at home.
drop mine down in the jars and then I've
Yeah.
got to dig them out.
Yeah, that's so tacky, especially
I
if I'm
know.
on,
It's so
especially if
tacky.
I'm on TV, you know. And
Oh, I
then
need to
this
be
is-
looking and seeing who's here. Don's here. Michelle's here. I'm sure some others are here that have been going up. Darlene Jurgensen's watching.
Oh, good.
So she's
Okay.
in the midst. For those of you just getting on, she's got little potato cubes cooking in the oven. That she'll be adding the salmon on top of that and the asparagus, but she didn't get them in soon enough. I thought we
No.
even talked about that you were going to
Yeah,
put them
I
in
know,
early.
it just time got away. I was doing a crossword puzzle.
Uh-huh.
Well,
There.
You were on the computer.
Well, yeah, I'm
Watching
always on the
TV.
computer.
Oh, well,
No, I
you
was
really
sending
were.
out my messages to people.
Well, and you were watching. The
I was
conference.
watching the conference minister.
Yeah, you were. You were being good. I was being.
That's
bad.
right. That's right.
Usually it's the other way around.
That's right. Okay, so
Okay.
that's the last. What was
Sage.
that?
Sage. Of
Oh,
all
that's
things.
odd.
Yeah, I thought that was very odd too, and I kind of questioned it, but it was very good actually. Of course, I wouldn't know what. it
Okay,
tasted
so
like.
she's
Now,
mixing
I
that
just
up in the
mix that
butter.
up. Now, the clue here is this needs to be put in the refrigerator just to solidify.
Okay, I
some.
shall do that.
All right, if you'll put that in the refrigerator, that would be good. And I have my salmon. I had gotten it and then packaged it up and put it in the.
And you know you have asparagus in here?
Oh yes, would you hand that to me, please? I forgot. I washed that all up and this morning, and when I was in here horsing around, we would have been missing our asparagus. that
Yes.
I've already cleaned and ready to
Yes,
go
you
on
would.
it.
Lori Buck, did you know that you can get frozen salmon fillets at Dollar Tree? They are 6-ounce portions. Huh, I didn't know that.
How much are they, Lori?
I don't know how much they are. I'm trying them today, she
Ah,
says.
she's
So
trying them today.
so she will
'Cause I
let us
paid-
know.
I paid $4.99 a pound for my salmon.
Okay. Do you need scissors?
I've got them,
Oh, good for you.
but I
Very
was kind
good.
of waiting a little bit here. 'cause I-
Well, those will take, I thought you said those take 15 minutes.
They don't take that long because I've got Yukon Gold and I cut them small. They're not the bigger potatoes. I cut 'em
Okay.
up littler.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut these.
Okay.
It's gonna take just a little bit for that butter to solidify.
I put it in the freezer.
Aha! Very, very smart.
I know. What can
You're
I say?
getting better all the time.
I'm picking up little tidbits here and there.
Yes.
Okay, Jamie's watching.
Well, very good.
Hi, Jamie.
Well, oh, and you need to remind people about Friday, the
Good
Good
Friday.
Friday service.
That's right. Good Friday service at 7:30. We'll be live, and so please tune in. And again, if you would share those things with friends and neighbors that you know they don't have anything going on, and you'd like them to share in that service, We're also going to be putting online an interview with a special visitor that will be here with us on Easter morning, a furry visitor that's going to share with me some of the things that the Easter Bunny does. And that interview will be on Saturday, I think, posted on Saturday. But the Easter Bunny will be with us on Easter Sunday.
Yes, and I think the Easter Bunny has some surprises that they're bringing.
I think so. We'll do the kids. We're just wanting all the kids to come.
Yeah.
And if you got a special little Easter hat you want to wear it. We can parade around in our Easter hats. We could wear our chef hats.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, that's a special little hat.
That's right.
Do you want to check and see if that thing's got a little bit solidified in there? It didn't take me long at home when I did it.
Okay.
There she is, getting in the freezer.
That's right.
In our. Did it glue itself to the?
I don't think it's quite solidified, but it's at least cold.
Yeah. Well, this will work. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
That's right. We'll make it work.
So basically what you're going to be doing is putting the salmon in between the potatoes and the asparagus, or on top of the potatoes?
No, in the between.
In between the two.
In between the two.
Okay, because the potatoes are going to have longer to cook anyway because they're going back in.
Yeah, they're going back in, so I didn't think we needed.
Look at those nice little fillets.
Yes, and this is, as you read about last week, this is the Atlantic salmon.
Atlantic salmon.
Yes, now tonight I'm fixing a Pacific salmon for
Okay.
dinner tonight. Okay, then I'm just gonna take this, oh yeah, this is getting a little better. I'm gonna just spoon this on our salmon,
Okay.
and I've made enough for twice the amount of what I've got here, so
Well, but if it's that good a sauce.
it's a little spicy, so I'm kind
Okay.
of remembering that I have an individual here that might not be thrilled with a lot. So anyway, I just spread this on the salmon,
Yeah.
and now I'm not a big fan of super hot foods lately, but I enjoyed it. It was just added enough of
That's good.
a flavor to it. And if it's solidified, then you kind of spread it on like a butter. But this, obviously, isn't quite that cold.
That's okay. I can put it back in the fridge and I'll take it out after it's done. If I want to add more, I can.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank
All right,
you.
there you go. Now, I'm going to find room on here to put the asparagus. This is a little smaller than most people's cooking sheets that they would be using. Now, I've already cleaned the asparagus, so I'll just put it on the tray here.
We got things in here I didn't know we had.
I know.
What is that stuff?
I don't.
There's something in a
In a
styrofoam thing.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. That's scary.
Yeah. It's really scary if it's one of us that brought it in and we don't remember it. That's the scary part.
Now, see, even that little tray looks pretty.
Yeah.
With the green, the pink, and the white.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of.
It's a pretty dish already.
Normally you would lay this asparagus out in a single layer. but
Yeah.
we
Now, do you
kinda-
put olive oil on the asparagus?
I put avocado.
Avocado. Okay.
I'm gonna live it up here. We're
Okay.
gonna use avocado.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sprinkle it with some sea salt, with freshly ground sea salt. And then I'm going to put on some freshly ground pepper.
Pepper.
Yeah. And then I'll show you this tray.
Yeah, the tray looks great.
Yes, it does. Okay, now, let's see, oops, you don't need that spoon in there.
No. You're gonna have to lick your fingers now.
Oh, no, I'm not licking my finger with this cayenne pepper in it.
Here's a
Oh, yes, give me a napkin. I don't wanna get our area dirty here, cause then that's more cleanup for us later. Okay.
All right. Now she's
This
gonna
is-
walk this tray, or I don't know if she
Yeah,
can
I'm
walk it
gonna-
around or
Yeah,
not.
I can do that.
It's just so pretty looking, even raw. Up
Whoop,
here,
whoop,
Tip, can you?
there. Yeah,
There.
move it over.
There.
Yes.
Look at that.
It almost looks healthy.
It does. I hope I don't reject it.
Well, that would be interesting.
Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you what, you've got that in now. Now we
Yeah.
need to read.
Yeah, you gotta
So-
read this up. Let's see, it says here this is gonna cook for 15 minutes.
Okay, so we'll check
That's
at about
about right.
1:35.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I
That's-
kinda guessed correct on everything.
That's perfect.
All right.
All right, so
we can have a setter,
we can have a
set at our table.
a seat at our table.
Yes.
That's right.
I'll turn the camera around here and adjust it as I whip through the area. Oh, there's Pastor Karen. I gotta lower this down. Yeah, and I gotta lower it
There
down
you go.
some. Oops, come on.
Just don't drop the camera.
Oh, I know. I've thought of that many a time. Why isn't my thing acting like normal? Because I'm not normal.
Okay.
Oh, it's still not right.
I think that looks pretty good.
Well, we can't see.
Well, now you-
Yeah, because.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because see, we cut off.
That's right.
You
Okay.
know.
That's good.
There we go. All right.
Okay, walk ahead. There you go. Very good. All right, so here we're going to talk a little bit about why fish has become a symbol of Christianity, okay? It says in the early Christian community, one of the symbols that united primitive Christians was the cross of Jesus Christ. Next to that was the ichthys, or fish symbol, ranked as one of the most important in unlocking the secrets of the mystery that became Christianity. The use of the fish symbol in pagan art was of ancient origin, and many of the mystery cults, such as the cult of Isis, had previously employed its usage. Clement of Alexandria in 150 AD is the first early Christian church father to have specifically mentioned the fish symbol as pertaining to Christian usage. He did not give an explanation for its use, which seems to imply that the Christian community he was writing for understood the meaning of the symbol. The symbol first brought to mind the fledgling Christian community the way Jesus shared a meal of fish with his disciples on the shore of the Sea of Tiberias in Galilee and after the resurrection, but it had a deeper, mysterious, more secret meaning. The fish symbol references an acrostic, okay, consisting of the initial letters of 5 Greek words, which form the word for fish. In the Greek, ICTYS, pronounced ichthys, it contained the Greek letters iota, chi, theta, upsilon, and sigma. To the early Christian community, this signifies Iesos Christos Theos Uos Soter, or in English, the translation of that Greek word is Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. Several representations of the fish symbol can be found on the walls of the catacombs. It initially enabled Christians to identify themselves to each other in secret because they did not want to be overheard by their persecutors when they were worshiping Christ. The fish symbol enabled them to recognize each other without the need for verbal communication. Do you think we could ever not have verbal communication? I don't think so.
No, and if
Because we
especially.
wouldn't understand each other.
No, we could, you know, we could try one of those pantomime, you know, like
We
when
could.
charades.
Well, charades.
Yeah, we could
Okay.
do a whole sermon. You could do a whole sermon with charades and see if we
I'll
got
try
it.
that sometime.
Yeah, you might.
They then could jointly but silently proclaim their profession of faith in the divinity of Jesus Christ. So I think there's always those times where cultures or communities use symbols that relate a story that must be kept secret. When I was in the Philippines and I was staying with the sugarcane workers, at that time they were trying to form a union because there had been a lot of violence between the managers of the sugarcane fields and the workers. And so if they were meeting in a house, they would turn a flower pot upside down and place it out on their porch. And then that way the workers would know that that was a safe space. And as I've read this about the fish, I always just thought the person did the whole fish symbol. They would make an arch, and then you make another arch, and it forms a fish. But they said most generally, if they came upon a stranger, they would just make one arch in the sand. If the stranger came and finished it off with the other arch, then they would know that that person was Christian and that they could communicate. So this enabled them to recognize each other without the need for verbal communication, and then they could jointly but silently proclaim their profession of faith. When a Christian met a stranger on the road, one would draw one half of the fish on a rock or in the dirt, and if the stranger drew the other half, just as I said, both Christian believers knew that they could enjoy the fellowship with one another freely. The fish symbol was also scratched on walls or rocks to point the way to where Christians were meeting in secret at ever-changing locations. A similar symbol had been utilized by non-Christian Greeks at the time to mark the location of funerals, so the Christian usage blended with that one. The church father Tertullian would later refer to the early Christians who were being baptized as little fishes, after the image of our ichthys, born in water. During the reign of Emperor Constantine, the persecution of Christians ceased, as he declared Christianity to be the official religion of the state, and the fish symbol seems to have disappeared after the 4th century as Christianity spread and the secret of the mystery fish became more widely known. However, it's been revitalized and oftentimes to put on cars and to, I guess, to let other people know that, you know, they're having, that they practice the Christian faith. There are some writers that found that to be commercializing something that shouldn't be commercialized. So, you know, it's all, but anyway, it also, I think, feeds into why we have fish, you know, around Easter time. That's a Catholic tradition that is, I think, also has been taken on sometimes in other church cultures. So this is great. Okay, so that's the reason fish were used as a way of communicating with other Christians, because they had to be silent about that because of persecution. Oh, I know. Another thing I want to tell you is the second Sunday of Easter, or the Sunday after Easter, is called Holy Humor Sunday. And we have practiced that once or twice here at Bethel. And what I'd like you to do is, if you have a humorous story, a joke, but you do need to make sure that it's nothing that would be offensive.
Socially acceptable.
Right. But you will be asked then to share that the Sunday after Easter, humorous story, a joke. I'll have some one-liners that I'm going to give out to people to have them read, because this is the reason this came about, and I will be giving you the history of that when we meet on Holy Humor Sunday. This was to let people know that, or let the devil know that the joke's on him, because Jesus lives, and there will be joy always. So we're going to do that, and I'll give you a history of that when we get to Holy Humor Sunday. I just like the name of it. I think it sounds good. So we've got a few more. What do we got over there? We got probably about 10 more minutes, don't we?
No, less than that.
Oh, less than that.
Because it was, when I went over and looked, it was 9, so.
All right,
And
then
you were
I'm
still talking.
and I'm
so.
still talking.
But you don't have food in your mouth, I don't know.
I know, I'm not used to talking without food in my mouth. I want to read you a story about transitions, because I think, and Easter really is a time of transition, because you have either given up or given over to God something that you have tried to correct or have God guide you in.
Was I supposed to do that?
You were supposed to do that, but I
Okay.
don't know. You may have to do it again. Okay. But I came across this, and it's so true and I like the way that this is stated. So it's about transitions. It's about, I think one of the reasons I liked it is we have gone through this huge change because of the COVID, pandemic. And those kinds of changes have been difficult. There's been a lot of difficulty that has been in that. But even with that, this has been a time of growth. So here is, we're going to describe what it feels like and what it must have felt like when we first started hearing about the pandemic, when we're trying to swing from one trapeze to the other. And it's that in-between time that's the riskiest, but it's also the time where we will feel the most growth. Let's see, I see, who do you see up there? Jamie's still there, and who's the next one? You got your phone?
Well, yeah, but if I do that,
Oh.
then that takes away our power.
All right. Nothing takes away our power.
Colleen Kuhn.
Okay. All right. Hi, Colleen. So here we are. We're going to read about comparing our life to a series of trapeze swings. Sometimes I feel that my life is a series of trapeze swings. I'm either hanging on to a trapeze bar or swinging along, or for a few moments in my life, I'm hurtling across space in between trapeze bars. Most of the time, I spend my life hanging on for dear life to my trapeze bar of the moment. It carries me along a certain steady rate of swing, and I have the feeling that I'm in control of my life. I know most of the right questions and even some of the right answers. But once in a while, as I'm merrily or not so merrily swinging along, I look ahead of me into the distance, and what do I see? I see another trapeze bar swinging toward me. It's empty, and I know in that place in me that knows that this new trapeze bar has my name on it. It's my next step, my growth, my aliveness coming to get me. In my heart of hearts, I know that for me to grow, I must release my grip on the present, well-known bar to move to the new one. And each time it happens to me, I hope, no, I pray, that I won't have to grab the new one. But in my knowing place, I know that I must totally release my grasp on my old bar, and for some moment in time, I must hurtle across space before I can grab onto the new bar. And each time, I'm filled with terror. It doesn't matter that in all my previous hurdles across the void of unknowing, I have always made it. Isn't that funny how we fear something that we've already been through in the past, but we forget we made it, and then we get fearful again? Each time I'm afraid I will miss, that I will be crushed on unseen rocks in the bottomless chasm between the bars, but I do it anyway. Perhaps this is the essence of what the mystics call the faith experience. No guarantee, no net, no insurance policy, but you do it anyway because somehow to keep hanging on to that old bar is no longer on the list of alternatives. And so for an eternity that can last a microsecond or 1,000 lifetimes, I soar across the dark void of the past is gone, the future is not yet here. It's called transition. The past is gone, the future is not yet here. And hopefully we're getting to that place with the pandemic, that particular thing is going to be gone, at least as we understand it to be gone because of the vaccines. But the future's not yet here. So we don't know what that next transition is going to be. I've come to believe that it is the only place that real change occurs. I mean real change, not the pseudo change that only lasts until the next time my old buttons get punched. I've noticed that in our culture, this transition zone is looked upon as nothing, a no place between places. Sure, the old trapeze bar was real and the new one coming towards me, I hope that one's real too, but the void in between, that's just a scary, confusing, disorienting nowhere that must be gotten through as fast and as unconsciously as possible. What a waste. I have a sneaking suspicion that the transition zone is the only real thing and that the bars are illusions that we dream up to avoid the void. where the real change, the real growth occurs for us. Whether or not my hunch is true, it remains that the transition zones in our lives are incredibly rich places. I don't know that I looked at this last year as an incredibly rich place.
Well, it depends on what we were eating.
But as far as growth,
I think
I think it's been a growing experience for all of us.
We have learned so much.
I think
we never thought we would
ever
ever
learn.
have. Yeah, we never thought we wanted to learn.
But as individuals, it's been a growing place. As the church, not just Bethel, but the Church Universal, it's been a growing place. But I didn't look at it at that time as we were going through it. They should be honored. These rich places, they should be honored, even savored. Yes, with all the pain and fear and feelings of being out of control that can accompany transitions, they are still the most alive, the most growth-filled, passionate, expansive moments in our lives. And so, transformation of fear may have nothing to do with making fear go away, but rather with giving ourselves permission to hang out in the transition between the trapeze bars. Transforming our need to grab that new bar, any bar, is allowing ourselves to dwell in the only place where change really occurs. And it can be terrifying. But it can be enlightening in the true sense of the word. Hurtling through the void, we just may learn how to fly. And that's kind of how I've seen this pandemic, as this void that we've had no control over, that we've had no understanding of, and maybe we learned a little how to fly. Oh my goodness!
Ah, getting
Look,
the smells
can you
into
guys
the.
smell that?
Yeah. Okay.
How yummy is that? I'm gonna read. Let's see. I think this must be a humorous story that Randy started with the minister and his wife visited the neighborhood. Her 4-year-old daughter answered the door. Mom, she yelled toward the living room. God's here, and he brought his girlfriend. See, those are the kind of stories. Save that one, Randy, for our Holy Humor Sunday.
Well,
which
he'll
is,
have so many.
I know, he'll have so many, I'll have to ask him to sit down.
Yeah.
That's right. Randy's got so many one-liners.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is set. If you ever need a one-liner, call Randy.
Yeah.
If you're needing a story for the Sunday after Easter, call Randy. Maybe he'll share one with you.
Okay, I'm gonna show them your
Show them the
plate.
plate.
There's Pastor Karen's plate.
Look at that.
There
Wow.
you go.
Now, fill your little plate and then we'll say a prayer, because I remember.
You remember.
That's
Oh,
right.
I better start with this size of piece, since I never know how much I can eat.
Yeah. And we gotta just keep keeping Marty in our prayers, because she's gonna have another procedure, and she can tell you about it if you wanna call and find out more about it. It's too hard to explain. But anyway, it's on April the 25th? The 21st, April 21st. Again, it's outpatient, but still, she can explain to you what's going on. Because we gotta get this girl back to eating again.
Oh, yeah, well, it's gonna be a long time.
I know, but she's trying to eat very slow and
Yeah.
eat little bitty bites. Okay, let's pray. All gracious and loving God, we thank you that in this Holy Week that we have traveled together and that we have shared not only recipes but fun and laughter. We ask that as we move toward Good Friday, that we will remember that on Good Friday all the hosannas are now quieted and we don't hear the sounds of cheer anymore. But after we get through Good Friday, we know that we'll come to the open tomb and it'll be empty. and resurrection will have occurred. And so we pray for all the resurrections in our lives that we experience. And we just ask that you bless this meal and that we can do your work from the strength of this food. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Okay.
Okay.
Hope you like it.
I think I will. I'm sure it's not that hot. Man, that didn't take long either.
Mm-mm. It doesn't. Potatoes were just fine.
The fish is very good.
Good.
You know, I can feel just a little bit of heat
Mm-hmm.
in the back of my throat, but not too much that it takes away the flavor. Mmm. I'll tell you what, with the salmon patties and with the fresh salmon grilled, and it's so healthy. Asparagus is done too.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't take long to do it. They say that they recommended using the thinner asparagus for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it gets done so much quicker. And this salmon is perfectly done. Perfectly. Mmm. Well, it has been a joy having this salmon the last 2 weeks.
I'll have to figure out what we're doing for next week. I've tried several recipes, and I've got to just decide
Decide
which one I want to eat.
or that you can eat okay. That's important.
Well, that's none of them.
Well, that's none of them. Mmm. You all, this is so tasty. And it's just such a fresh looking meal. You know, it just looks healthy. I think I feel healthier just looking at it. I can't see what it's saying. Anyway, we have just, I think, you know, for me, one of the blessings of this year has been this show.
Well, you've tried
Starting
a lot.
to do it.
You've eaten a lot of things that you never thought you would eat.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean I'm gonna try a eggplant, okay?
Yeah, don't do that.
There's a limit to, even what I will.
See, we
It's
agree.
just too
We
slimy.
agree on something.
That and okra.
And okra, yeah. No.
Not gonna happen.
Mm-mm. So I wonder if you all are planning anything with your core group, or if you've had your vaccines and you're ready to get back with your family, if you're gonna have a Easter gathering. It's, you know, I think a lot of people are, as long as they keep their groups small and, you know, majority of people have been vaccinated.
It does taste good.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's yummy.
It's almost healthy.
It is healthy. Mm.
Except for that butter I put on there.
I know, but that's okay.
Mm.
You gotta have butter.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have butter. Oh, Terry and I went down to the city market this last weekend. They're just starting to open up. There are some vendors down there, but most of them are still the vendors that, you know, are inside the enclosed areas, and but they had one that had all kinds of honey and jams and jellies and all of that. It was just fun going down there. It wasn't very crowded, but it was fun being there. Because, you know, it's getting to be planting time, and so we went down to Planters, which is down there close to the city market, because that's where Terry gets his stuff, because he makes his own potting soil. And so we had to pick up the potting soil, or I don't know what all
All
he
the
uses.
ingredients.
All the ingredients. Mm-hmm.
But Our yard's about ready to be mowed. It's
Ours
pretty
has
tall.
been. Terry mowed it last week.
Ours getting pretty deep.
Mm-hmm. That's when you know it's spring.
Well, that and the darn weeds that look like flowers are this tall in the flower bed, and I went out the other night at 9 o'clock at night and pulled them, so I got tired of thinking about it. Wasn't doing anything else.
Yeah. Man, oh man, and this asparagus is great.
Good.
Perfectly done. No, I'm beginning to think, especially if you do it well, and it's so quick, salmon is a great, it's almost like one of those fancy meals that's really fast,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't take that kind of time.
No.
That is good. I'm gonna just get so healthy.
I know.
Gee.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when you're swinging from that trapeze bar, you're gonna be able to make it to the next one. I just kept envisioning you splatting out there in the middle of your office. I know it's kinda ugly.
I like that story though, because
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
very
it
good.
really was a,
Mm-hmm.
it give us a visual of how it's felt this last year, but we just had to keep on and grab for the next thing.
Kinda reminds me of how we started Check, Cook, Pray, and sometimes we were sideways.
Sometimes we were sideways, that's right. And we would just talk to you all like, are we still sideways?
Yeah.
That is yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you guys have plans. I don't know, does anybody still dye eggs? I don't think the grandkids are even getting old now, and I don't get to dye eggs with them, but that was one of my most fun things that I did as a grandma, is dye eggs with the kids. They loved it. And man, could they make a mess.
Mm-hmm. I did it with, our family from Kenya that had 5 children, and we dyed Easter eggs, and luckily, I took everything outside to the deck.
Well, it must
Thank
have been
goodness,
warm enough to do
because,
that.
well, I wouldn't have cared, because the dye got dumped over. If that had been
Oh,
on the, on the rug in the breakfast area, that would have been
that
ugly.
would not have been a pretty sight.
No, it would not have been. So, yes, and we had an Easter egg hunt, and they got so wild over looking for, they'd never experienced that. They were Muslim, anyway, they'd never experienced it, but they had the most fun, except they kinda knocked over a few things in the house trying to get to the eggs. That was kind of exciting, but, we all survived.
That's right, that's the big thing. Wow, what a good lunch that was. That was
Well,
just perfect.
Yeah,
I
there's
loved it.
more there.
Yeah, well, I may chomp some more later.
Yeah, mm-hmm. You snack away.
Just snack away.
Well, what are you fixing for Easter?
Okay, we are gonna have our family gather, cause everybody's vaccinated. And, of the children, either they have experienced it earlier this year and have been, have gotten well from it. But anyway, I'm fixing, or actually, Terry and I are fixing the ham, and he is smoking a corned beef.
Mm.
And then I'll be making the deviled eggs, cause that's my signature thing, deviled egg. And we'll be making scalloped potatoes, and so then, and Erin will have it at her house.
Oh.
And plus, she has a very large deck that
You'd
we
be,
can all sit outside,
It'll be
especially
nice
since it's
weather.
gonna be so warm. So, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be wonderful. It is truly a celebration of resurrection. And so, I'm looking forward to it. And I hope, all of you haven't had any problems if you're getting the vaccine, that you've been able to find a place to do it and get it, and get out there. It seems to be going much faster, and there's more places, and You can get in, when you call. And I know it seems like all the television stations are telling you just what you have to do if you haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
They even have places where people can pick you up if you can't get there yourself. And so I'm hoping that you all have been able to do that if you wanted to do that. So.
I got my ham for Easter,
Uh-huh.
95 cents a pound, spiral sliced. Aldi's,
No, that's where we always get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
they had the special last week, and so
Yeah.
I got it.
that spiral cut Aldi's ham is just
Yeah, Applewood.
hard to beat.
Yeah, Applewood, Applegate, something, apple something.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I think they have in there too, because I've done this before, is made the orange sauce that they usually
This is a
sometimes.
brown sugar.
Okay, and this is the one I get has a brown sugar and
Well,
orange.
Well, I buy the cheap one, the one that was $1.69 a pound, and it's now 95 cents.
95 cents.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really great.
that was good.
Well,
So-
you all, it's been great. I'm hoping that if you did this with us, and I'm assuming Lori did, that it turned out as good as this did. This is, oh, there goes the lights again.
Well, we did
Um,
electrical.
There we go. We're back. Hey, you know what I've noticed though?
I don't
There's not been buffering today.
I used my hotspot today because our service today was pretty darn slow here at church.
Okay.
But we're going to be changing
Yeah.
next
So
week.
we're having a new connection,
New service.
new service, and that'll be done next week.
Yeah, so we hope we work after that.
That's
And
right.
reminder that next Tuesday is election day for municipalities.
Okay.
And so I think most of us in this area will be voting on something. And like Kansas City, we're voting on the e-tax, and for my part, I'm very much in favor of that since I worked for the city. I know how important it is, actually.
So it'll be things like that.
And
Only
yeah,
certain places are having.
yeah, well, I
It's
think
all
Clay
just-
County has, and I
Okay.
think Liberty probably has something. You forgot to vote one time. You said, what, it's election day? I said, yeah, it's local. You go like, oh.
Well, no, I think Kansas City had a thing one time, and they didn't have it in.
No,
And
that
other
was, because
things.
that was when we elected the mayor, and that we postponed it from the earlier
Oh.
time. We did it last June.
Oh, okay.
Because we were supposed to have done it in April, and that was too dangerous at that time.
Right,
So
right.
we moved it to June.
But anyway, we're in Holy Week, as you all know, and I want to share a poem from Anne Weems that it tells us how important the story of Easter is and how important it is that we share it with our children. So this is called The Story and the Child. The child comes, and we dye eggs and make a cake and decorate. Why are we doing this, he asks. Because, I answer, life is about to happen, and on Sunday morning we'll catch stars. He looks at me quizzically at first, and then grins. It's then that I ask him to tell me the story. The only way he'll learn is to tell it himself. The only way we'll learn is to tell it again and again and again to the children. So, happy Easter. Please join us Sunday morning at 10. Join us Friday night at 7:30. And on Saturday, we'll have a visitor, an interview with our friend, the Easter Bunny. So, join us. We're busy all weekend. Things are
Yeah.
happening.
Don't forget.
Oh, I gotta get my kazoo.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, and pray. Oh, chat, cook, pray. Amen. Woo! Happy Easter.